Hello YouTube and welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. So today I have for you another Gemini deck. As I talked about in my last video, I've been reusing some of my old decks and sort of reworking them to see how they do in this format, or some get some new cards. So I tried again Last Gamble Gemini deck, but I added this huge boss, Polychemicator Dioxogur, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. We're gonna call him Diox for short. Now he's a Fiend Gemini, and that's very important. He's got two effects. Once you normal summon it to become a Gemini effect monster. Number one is the normal summon of a Gemini monster cannot be negated. Now that's a cool effect, but it doesn't come up as much. The second effect, however, once per turn you can banish one Gemini monster from your graveyard, then target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. That effect is huge, and it really makes this deck what it is. Even though you only have one in the deck, it's more than enough, and you guys will see the plays in the replays. So for the rest of the deck list, we're using one Phoenix Gearfried, two Darkstorm Dragons, and one Doom Shaman. These are basically our big Gemini that we're trying to get back via the Butterfly or Supervise. And the reason why I'm running Doom Shaman is because, like I said, Diox is a Fiend, so you can actually bring Diox back from the graveyard with Doom Shaman. So it's really cool. A lot of times I was fusioning using, fusioning. I just made up a word. I would fusion using Doom Shaman and Diox with like a Supervise. I would bring Doom Shaman back, and then I would bring Diox back. And because we have Super Alloy, both of their effects are live, so it's just really good. One Heavy Knight of the Flame, just in case there's anything that I want to banish, going up against Cyber Angels, Red Eyes, stuff like that. It's nice to have one, and it's also good if you don't have, if you just need a normal summon and you need to be aggressive and start attacking. I honestly think that I wanted two Darkstorm Dragons because obviously I want the effect of destroying the entire back row, but I'm thinking even one might just be enough, but at two it was fine. And then we'll run three Blazewing Butterfly, which is the main component of the deck. This, along with Supervise, is what's going to help you summon all your big monsters from the graveyard, and it's just really good. You can use it to fusion. A lot of times you can normal summon this, slap on a Supervise, and then fusion with whatever you have in hand. You're gonna get the Supervise off, by when it goes from field to the graveyard. So just a couple plays you can do with this card. Really good card in this deck. And then we have three Featherizer. Featherizer is gonna help us send or Diox and or Doom Shaman or Darkstorm Dragon to the graveyard, depending on the situation that you're dealing with. I really wish it would work just if it was sent to the grave in any form, but unfortunately they have to destroy it by battle. But not only does it let you send a Gemini from the deck to the graveyard, it also lets you draw one card. So it replaces itself in that sense, and that way you can discard for Last Gamble and you don't lose a lot of card advantage. Three Supervise, because like I was saying, it says the whole deck. This and Blazewing Butterfly make the whole deck possible. It's also an equip spell, so you can send it with Darkstorm Dragon in order to wipe the entire back row. And if you do that, you can actually get another Gemini back from the graveyard once this hits the grave. So it's just really good. Three Enemy Controller, like I've been mentioning in every deck, pretty much Enemy Controller is just going to be a staple until it gets limited or banned. You just need it to deal with everything. You need it to deal with Ancient Gears because a lot of cards like Wall of Disruption, Draining Shield just are not effective against Ancient Gears. You need it for Cyber Angels. It can help you aggressively with econ takes. And also in a Last Gamble deck, when you're going down to 100 life points, you really need the defensive cards to keep yourself alive. So 3 econ is pretty standard. And then in last, the 2 Polymerization, one of them Glossy, because so that you can get your Super Alloy Beast, which I run 3 of. I don't need to, I just want to have a full extra deck. I mean, obviously I can only fuse 2 at the most because I only have 2 polymerization, but a lot of times all you need is 1, and this will make all your Gemini monsters effect monsters. Another thing to remember is that it's all Gemini on the field. A lot of my opponents misplayed for some reason because they had a heavy knight and they wouldn't attack even though all my monsters were special summoned, because I guess they didn't realize that this card was making it an effect monster as well. So against Heavy Knight it's kind of scary, but like I said, most of my opponents didn't realize that. And then I'm running 2 Panzer Dragon because I wanted to throw something in the deck, and one of the reasons I decided to use this is because, okay, Super Alloy is a dragon, and I also have Darkstorm Dragon. So if there's ever a crazy scenario where I'm going up against Ancient Gears, I can always econ take the Ancient Gear and then fuse for this. That didn't come up, obviously, but it's a prismatic, and I wanted to have a full extra deck just because. The skill is Last Gamble, like I said, but the thing I like about this deck is that you're not relying on Last Gamble. Last Gamble is just there to help you out. Obviously you benefit from having Gemini in the grave, not only because of supervised, but also because your Diox needs fodder to banish so that it can be destroying cards from your opponent. But in a lot of the duels I didn't even resolve Last Gamble, but like I said, it's a nice backup. Here he's going first, he's got the Heavy Knight. I go ahead and set my Featherizer. He goes for the attack, so I send my Diox to the grave because I already have Doom Shaman in my hand, and then I draw into Darkstorm Dragon and a Supervise. So this is when the hand went from good to better to pretty much broken. I go for Super Alloy, summon my Blazewing. I don't need to activate my Supervise. Why? Because my Doom Shaman is going to be able to bring my Diox back onto the field. Unfortunately, he did have the econ, and this is what I was talking about. He could have attacked either of my monsters and it would have banished them. I didn't have anything to protect them, but he didn't realize that you know, Super Alloy was also benefiting his Heavy Knight. He ends up not attacking. I destroy the back row, you know, using my Diox, and just attack for game. Pretty easy win. Here I'm going up against Cyber Angels, which was a very interesting duel. My opponent Brick, I'm not gonna say, you know, they had the best opening hand. They had a pretty bad Brick, but I made a play which I'm gonna explain it when I talk about it. But it's just another way of dealing with Cyber Angels, besides, you know, the econ take on Bikini. They go first, just set 2 cards, so I decide to go aggressively. I have an econ so I can protect my Heavy Knight. He's got the econ, but again, just sets another card. I activate Supervise on my Heavy Knight so that when I fuse for my Super Alloy, I can bring back my Diox because the Supervise is going, you know, from the field to the grave. And I do just that. And then I use its effect to destroy one of the back row. Unfortunately, I hit Windstorm, so he can just, you know, chain it, and I can't attack. But I still have a poly in order to protect myself. And at this point, I still don't know what this man's running. He has, you know, the most legendary Brick. He's got Draining Shield. He's got an enemy controller, so he's protecting himself. Gains a ton of life points. And this is the play I was talking about. He goes for Cyber Petite Angel. At this point, I'm keeping track of my opponent's hands. And let's go right here. He goes Machine Angel Ritual, the you know, the regular play, Tribute E10 to summon Ben 10, and he's gonna search a spell, and he's going to search a monster. Obviously the monster is gonna be the Kini, but this is very important. So he doesn't have anything else on his hand besides what he's about to search. So I had to pay attention into what he was gonna search. If he searched Machine Absolute Ritual, he needed the exact 8 to summon the Kini. So he needed Cyber Petite Angel and, you know, the E10 or the Ben 10 that's on the graveyard. If he just got the regular Machine Angel Ritual, he still needed the Ben 10 that he's about to summon and the Cyber Petite Angel. So he searches for Dakini like we expect him to, because that's pretty much their only play. There's the Dakini, and then he gets Machine Angel Ritual. So I wait until he activates the effect, and then I econ take the Cyber Petite Angel. Now the reason why I did that is because he's still gonna lose his ritual spell, and he's not gonna be able to summon the Dakini. If I waited until he summoned the Dakini and he didn't activate the effect, I would have been in bad shape. Obviously, if he activated the effect, econ take would have cleared the board, but instead of taking that chance, I just didn't let him ritual summon it at all. Now he lost 2 of his Machine Angel rituals, lost the Ben 10, and is just in top deck mode. I get my Doom Shaman, tribute my Diox just to bring it back and attack for game. I felt like that was a safer play. I didn't even want to see Dakini because, again, I was only protected if he activated Dakini's effect. If he didn't activate it, the most I could do was put it in defense mode, and you know that was not gonna do me any good. So I just stopped the summoning altogether. But that was a cool duel. He had a brick hand, but still beat Cyber Angels, and I didn't even have to rely on Last Gamble. I don't think I've used Last Gamble yet in the duels that I've showed. Here I just set my my Featherizer, set another Featherizer. My opponent's not summoning anything, so I figured it was some sort of destiny draw, you know, gain life point kind of thing. He actually goes with Labyrinth and Card Guard, putting the Card Guard counter on Labyrinth, which I thought was pretty cool. At this point, I'm just getting my resources. Fortunately for me, he summons Hades, so my Featherizer gets negated, and then it's time for Last Gamble. I drop one of the polymerizations and my Heavy Knight, roll a 4, get really lucky, and here I econ take because I don't want him stopping any of my plays. And if he's got an econ of his own, he could obviously econ take my Super Alloy or any other monster that I summon. I go ahead and summon Super Alloy, activate Blaze Swing, bring back the Dark Storm that I sent to the grave. He has to econ because he knows what's coming. I equip the Supervise, activate the effect, destroy the back row, which was Golden Apples and I believe a Mirror Wall, and then I just get to attack for game. So you know that when you do resolve Last Gamble, it does give you a pretty big advantage, but you're at 100 life points, so you need to finish the duel in that turn, and luckily for me I was able to do just that. And here we're going up against Ishizu. This duel was very long, and I was just playing very patiently because I had to rely on Last Gamble, and being at 100 life points in the meta that we currently are in is just, it's not safe. You know, there's Mirror Walls, there's an Econ Take, there's Metal Morph, there is Wall of Disruption, so you have to be very careful. She's got 2 back row, Sergeant Electro. I go ahead and dump my Diox, draw into an enemy controller. I decide to not set anything. Because of the Sergeant Electro, I figured it wasn't a deck that was going to be able to finish me in one turn. So instead, I keep my resources in hand to go for Last Gamble. I roll a 1, but luckily for me, it's a Blaze Wing Butterfly. So I can summon that, equip the Supervise, and go ahead and fuse. I get my Super Alloy out, and then I use Supervise to bring back Doom Shaman. Get my Diox, get rid of the Sergeant Electro so I can set my enemy controller safely. But again, I'm not attacking, he's got a full back row. She activates the Metal Morph prematurely, bad on them, but I was still gonna econ. And then he's got a Super Rush, so my Doom Shaman gets destroyed, which is very unfortunate, but I top deck another enemy controller, so at least I'm protected. I get rid of the Amazonas, she's got 2 more back row. I'm not attacking into full back row, there's just no way. And here's another instance. He could have attacked into my Super Alloy Beast and it would have been banished, but he doesn't realize that it's already an effect monster. So I'm able to bring back my field, you know, my Doom Shaman and my Diox. Banish a card to destroy the Heavy Knight, banish a card to destroy the Leotard, and now that there's no back row, I feel safe to attack. I switch my Super Alloy into defense mode to play around the Wall of D. I end up playing around Windstorm. And here, once again, I play around the Wall of Disruption, protecting my Super Alloy, which is making everything possible. It's got another Mirror Wall. Summons a Boxer, but I have 2 enemy controllers waiting. And here I just go for the safe play, which is Econ Take, tribute both for my Darkstorm Dragon, activate Supervise, clear the back row, and then bring back my Diox again, just so you can go for game. I was pretty much in control of that entire duel just by playing patiently. I knew eventually I was gonna either get my Darkstorm Dragon, or I was gonna slowly eat away at the back row using my Diox, as long as I had Geminis in the grave. And even though I was hoping, you know, for Last Gamble to help me out, it ended up rolling a 1. But I got pretty lucky by drawing into that Blazewing Butterfly. Then this last duel is going to be against the Pegasus. Running Toons. Actually running Toon World, which is peculiar, but this is Platinum, so it's not too surprising. I'm just waiting. He goes for Planet Pathfinder, so I know he's got the Toon Kingdom, but that's okay. I'm not too worried. I got plenty of ways to deal with Toon Kingdom. Goes for Toon Summon Skull, can't attack me. And then I get Polymerization, which is just the card I needed. I can fuse into my Super Alloy Beast. I already have Blazewing Butterfly, so I can just summon it and get back my Diox. He activates Spirit Barrier, which is not going to help him. I don't know if he was trying to bait out the effect, but I just destroyed Toon Kingdom. His Toon Summon Skull gets destroyed, and I attack for game. Pretty easy win. You know, I like showing when I beat those dumb decks, and you know, don't get offended if you use any of those decks, but you guys know how I feel about decks like Toons, We Will Burn, and that kind of stuff. It's like, really, like, if you just want to play Solitaire, you're playing the wrong game. But anyway, here's the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This card is so good. I'm having way too much fun playing with it. I know there's 2 other Gemini that you get from Bastion, but I didn't actually play around with them. This was kind of the idea that I had the whole time I was leveling him up to get the card, and it worked. It was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description. And until next time.